Oh, it's good. Good Thursday morning to you, everyone. This is world headquarters for KD After Dark. This is your favorite, and I do mean favorite, turn this light off, favorite correspondent for Mr. and Ms. America, for all ships at sea, for all sods everywhere. This is your morning report. And welcome to all the new subscribers. I do appreciate you stay on this ride with me. We're going for the gold every day. Is that a good way to say it? So, for the new folks that don't understand the format, I'll generally read something out of some book, literary work, biography, incidental, which might be I can't say serious, but less frivolous than the rest of it. And then we gradually you'll find out. Let's continue with the reading with Michael Crichton. As you know, him and Dr. Geller have been discussing Ms. Karen. So, we'll begin with Mr. Crichton and his wife. At home, I had dinner with my wife, our friends. The topic of divorce came up. Somebody Marvin knew was getting a divorce. Another couple in graduate school. A little chill passed through the table, a flicker of the candles. I started to think, what if I got divorced? I would be a working doctor. What women would I meet? I would meet my patients mostly. I would be busy. I wouldn't have much time for a social life outside my work. So the women I met would be my patients. And for that matter, how would I handle my practice? Where women might come in and whom I found exciting? What am I going to do? The priestly dedication to medicine was fine in the abstract. Interesting. But when it comes to actual limbs, sexy limbs, and the beautiful bodies on the examining table, and breasts and necks and girls that don't wear underwear, she probably has a disease. I consoled myself, but it wasn't much consolation. Yes, I told Dr. Geller, I'm having trouble with my feelings. You want her, huh? Sometimes. Only sometimes. Listen, I have this thing under control. I'm not saying you don't. What about your marriage? My marriage isn't always that great. Nobody's is, but sexually, not that great. Not all the time. So you think about Karen. Yeah. Listen, Dr. Geller said, that's fine. In fact, it's normal. It is. Sure, think about her all you want. Just don't fuck her. I'm not gonna fuck her. Great. Glad to hear it. We shall continue tomorrow with Michael Crichton and the little story about the girl who seduced everybody. I could recommend this one. I have a major announcement. I have completely turned heel on the naughty adult joke book. It had that great cheap cover. And it was red and black, so you think, oh, it's going to be great. Heel turn. So, I came prepared From the Hustler Joke Book, I'll read this off my tablet. What did one tampon? Remember, Hustler Joke Book, edited by Larry Flint. These are his personal choices. What did one tampon say to the other? Nothing. They were both stuck-up bitches. A big slob with prison tattoos walked into a bank and approached a teller. "I'd like to open a fucking checking account," he announced. "Excuse me, sir?" the teller huffed. "I want to open a fucking checking account." "Sir," came the nasal reply, "that kind of language is inappropriate. You'll have to speak to our manager." As their manager approached, the slob caught his eye. "Hey man, I just won $20 million in the lottery and I want to open a fucking checking account." The manager greeted him with a broad grin and said, "And this cunt won't help you?" So you understand the difference between the Hustler Joke Book and whatever in the hell this is? We shall return to the Hustler Joke Books. I have Volume 1 and Volume 2 coming, but I can read some off the tablet. If you didn't like that, maybe you'll like this. An Unseemly Man, Larry Flint. All the faint of heart should probably leave now. Larry Flint speaking. In spite of the inauspicious beginning, all my friends and associates agree, without reservation, that I have always had a voracious appetite for sex. I usually make sure I got the right place. Yeah. I usually describe my sexual proclivities as pedestrian. And although my sexual behavior has ranged over the years from the bizarre to the heroic, only one of my early experiences could actually be considered deviant. Last chance to run away. This was the occasion, Larry Flint speaking now. This was the occasion when at the age of 9, I had sex with a chicken. Yes, this is what the old preachers call bestiality. In the hollows of eastern Kentucky, it wasn't all that unusual. Sexual relations with animals, particularly cows, sheep, and horses, were common. Some of the older boys in the area told me that a chicken was as good as a girl and its egg bag was hot as a girl's pussy. And chickens wiggled around a lot more. In fact, they added, it was better in some ways because you could just grab the first chicken that came by. No wooing, no waiting. Anxious to experiment, I caught one of my grandmother's hens out behind the barn, managed to insert my penis into its egg bag and thrust away. When I let the chickens go, it started toward the main house, staggering, squawking, and bleeding. Fearing that my grandmother would see the end and want to know what had happened, I caught it and wrung its neck. Then threw the bird in the creek. I decided I like girls better. An Unseemly Man, Larry Flint's autobiography. I could recommend it. Our last bit of the day, of course, we always reserve, at least for the time being, with Ms. Xavier Hollander, Letters to the Happy Hooker. I picked another doozy. Dear Xavier, I am a 23-year-old female college student and I have a fetish, and I want to know if you have ever come across any other girls with the same problem. My fetish is the boots that you see many women and girls wear. For some reason, I just desire the hell out of any girl who wears them. It seems like every time I see a beautiful girl walk by, I just think of all kinds of wicked things that I'd like to see them do, from licking her boots all the way up to the top of her head. Mine is a very humiliating problem, and I'd like to know what I can do to find other girls with the same fetish. Are there any telltale signs that a girl may be a boot or shoe lover? Name withheld, Iowa City, Iowa. I noticed that there's a lot of letters come from the state of Iowa to the Happy Hooker. Just mentioning that. It's time to get shit done. You know, it's day 2 of National Goof Off Month. Consequential's the word. Let's do something consequential. Because, and you know why, because always be nice until it's time not to be nice. Be kind to animals. Discipline equals freedom. Never complain and never explain. So, get up. You don't have to fly out of bed. You don't have to leap out of bed. Just get out of bed. Get on your feet, have a cup of coffee, and let's get shit done. So, for Mr. and Ms. America, for all ships at sea, for all sods everywhere, this is your favorite correspondent, KD, wishing you a very great morning. Have a great day, everyone.